What is going on, YouTube? So today I actually do have a package full of parts that we are going to try and install all of them. And it's all related to heat management and keeping the car cooler than it is now. Right off the bat, you guys can see I have a new turbo blanket. It is one of the titanium, I think, turbo blankets. It was from Silicone Intakes, based out of Colorado Springs, I believe. Not necessarily like a name brand and not necessarily an off-brand thing. I think it's probably the same quality as like the eBay style ones, but those actually aren't too bad of quality from what I've seen. We also have from DEI a cool cover. So this is going to be going over this intake pipe right here. That DEI reflective gold stuff, I really don't think it's doing much for being right over the manifold down there. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is put this sleeve. So we're going to be putting that on that intake pipe there. And then we also picked up some stainless zip ties from Amazon. The next item is going to be a heat shield material that they sell. It's like fiberglass with aluminum weirdness on the outside. I don't know. I'm afraid to grab it because that's just like so much fiberglass right there. We are going to cut out the shape of my exhaust manifold, and we're going to make a heat shield for on top of the manifold. So we're going to have the heat shield on that. We're going to have the turbo blanket under that, and we are going to have the cool sleeve on the intake pipe. So that whole section should just drop in temperatures by a significant amount. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and install that stuff. Oh my God. This is what it looks like on the car. I don't have it secured down, but I think it actually looks like it's covering enough. So I'm just gonna leave it like that, secure it on, and get everything on there nice. And we'll start installing the cool sleeve for the intake pipe. So as you guys saw, I was really struggling trying to figure out how to get this whole thing in here. So what I'm gonna have to do is cut it up into pieces. In the instructions that were provided in the box, it says determine the appropriate length and then just trim it away. And it comes with some covering tape to make it look like it never got trimmed. So I'm gonna go ahead and trim it actually in a few different pieces, and we should be good. So this is what it looks like. It's not like the best looking thing, but anyway, we've got this guy installed. It's cut to the proper length. I cut a hole in here so the Velcro seals all the way down, and then we can still run the return for the diverter valve. Yeah, everything's fitting up pretty good. So for installing the turbo blanket, I've got the car all jacked up. We've got a block in the front wheel, we've got the jack, and then we've got a block in the back. So we should be okay. And then we have the turbo blanket here. We have two springs that hold it on the turbo near the center section. So let's take this thing underneath and go ahead and install it. Okay guys, so I did go ahead and get the turbo blanket installed, and that is what it looks like. Sorry for the shadows and stuff, it's super dark under here. I also noticed that it looks like the right side of my diff is actually, or the transmission on the diff side is leaking. So that's no good. But yeah, we got the turbo blanket installed. Hopefully I didn't mess anything up. So I went inside, changed up. I'm not all covered in fiberglass as bad. I am still, this hand is just like coated from putting the turbo blanket on, so that sucks, but I do have one more part that I've had in my possession for a little bit, and I figured why not install it. And these, I don't know if they're actually gonna make like a difference with the car or if they'll even do anything, but it was something that I saw online and was curious about. And they are knock sensor spacers from Tektronix Tuning. You put this in between the knock sensor and the block of the engine. Supposedly it dampens any engine noise that would cause the engine to start pulling timing or change timing in the engine. And since I have forged pistons and rods, and then also the lightweight flywheel and all of that chatter with the stage 2 clutch, that could potentially lose me some horsepower. So this could be something that could get me that horsepower that was lost with the engine noise being amplified with all of the aftermarket parts, or it could just be something that cost me $15 and won't do anything for me. We are finally done after hours of work. It's now dark out. It is 9:15. I'm ready to go inside, but we got all of this stuff done, so I had to make a spacer system for the ignition box here, and that was just a hassle to get in there just because it's so tight under this manifold and everything. I got both knock sensors with the spacers on them. Let's see if those do anything or if they even work. And then I also got this cool sleeve on. We've got a little heat shield on the exhaust manifold here, and then we have the T3 turbo blanket on the bottom. And yeah, everything went in pretty easy. It just took forever, especially the knock sensor modifications and all of that stuff for the ignition box. So I think we're all set. I'm gonna fire the car up, see how everything goes, do a heat cycle with the turbo blanket just so I know we're not leaking oil or gonna start a fire in the turbo blanket because of oil or something that I knocked loose. And then I also wanna see that everything still works electronically here and it's not doing anything weird with the knock sensors being spaced with those little spacers. So we'll start the car up, see how everything runs, and then hopefully be done with this. Okay guys, so we are back in the house. I just took it for an easy drive just to kind of get it through some heat cycles and kind of burn off all the oils and stuff on the turbo blanket and the little heat shield and all of that stuff. So everything was actually like cool to the touch once I got back home. So open the hood, everything, you can just touch it. It's totally cool. It dropped the temperatures in there probably like 50 to 100 degrees for sure, and everything's good. So yeah, thank you guys for watching.